Hi, my name is Robert Larson. I'm an attorney and I'm also the owner of the Larson Law Office in Mesa, Arizona. And today I wanted to talk about the two basic ways that you can determine what child support is going to be in Arizona. And so the first of those ways is what I would consider to be the standard method, which is basically there's a worksheet that Arizona uses to figure out child support. And so you go through this worksheet, you put in the income of both parents, you put in the parenting schedule that tells you how many days each parent has with the children during the year. You put in some expenses such as childcare, if that exists in your situation, and the cost of health insurance for the children. And there could be some other expenses that go into that as well. So basically, you fill out this formula and you put it into a worksheet, and the calculation basically just tells you what child support is going to be. And most people go that method and go off of whatever the calculation says. But there's a second method. It involves a little bit more work, but some people prefer to do it that way. So the second method is the two parents can agree on a number. And once they agree on that number, they can put that into their child support order, but they do have to do a little bit of extra work to justify it and get it approved by a judge. So if you don't go off of the worksheet, what you have to do is you have to still do a calculation and submit it. It's required that you submit a calculation anytime there's a child support order. That way the judge can see what it would be if you just went off the guidelines, which is basically the calculation that I talked about. So if the person paying child support is going to pay more than the worksheet shows, then you don't really have to justify that too much. You can pretty much just say that the two parents agree that the parent who's paying child support is going to pay more, because you don't really have to convince a judge that that's appropriate and in the children's best interest, because you're paying more. So that's not a problem. The way it becomes more difficult is when you're agreed on a number where you're paying less than the worksheet shows. So in that situation, you have to give some kind of justification that allows a judge to agree that it's okay for you to pay less than the calculation shows. And it could be a number of different things. So one thing that comes up a lot is one parent will provide an unequal share of transportation. So especially if children live in different states or a significant distance, the parent who's paying child support could either provide all the transportation, or they could pay more than 50%, or whatever it is. They basically provide more transportation, and obviously transportation costs more money, whether it's gas money or whether it's flights. Like I said, if you live in different states, sometimes you end up having flights involved. And so if you're paying for that, that could be a justification to reduce the child support. Sometimes it's not anything like travel. Sometimes people live close by, but there's other reasons. It could be that one parent is, or the parent who's paying child support is also paying for auto insurance for older kids. It could be that they're paying for a phone plan that covers kids. It could be that they're paying for all the like back to school clothes and school supplies and things of that nature. It's really an unlimited number of things that it can be, but those are some of the common things that we see. So basically what you have to do in that situation is you have to submit a child support order that shows what the calculation is, states that you're deviating downward, so you're deviating to a lower number, and you have to give a justification, and then you have to hope that the judge approves it. And so as long as both parents agree and you have some kind of legitimate reason, the judge will probably approve it. But it is up to the judge to say, no, that's not sufficient, because the reason why you have to get a judge's approval to have a deviation that goes to a lower number, because really it's the child's or children's right to receive support from the parents, and not the receiving parent's right. So let's say you have a father paying child support to a mother, and the mother has agreed to reduce the amount because of whatever reasons that they've listed. It's not the mother's right to receive the child support, it's the children's right to receive it. So just because the mother says she agrees to a lower amount, that doesn't automatically require the judge to approve it. But like I said, as long as you can give a decent reason, the judge will probably approve it and it won't be a problem. It's just a few extra steps you have to go through. And so just remember, even if you do agree on a number, you still have to do the calculation, or your final order will get rejected. So anyway, if you have any questions about that, feel free to comment, or if you want to call my office and talk to me individually, I'll be happy to do that too. And if you found this helpful, make sure that you like the video and subscribe so that you can get more in the future. Thanks.